Okay, so let's quickly head to it. We're joined in the studios by two gentlemen, but they're here to talk about something as referred to as Enactus, which is a global network dedicated to using entrepreneurial action to create a better world. Gentlemen, thank you indeed for coming on the program. Raphael Ahmadu is the program manager at Enactus Nigeria. Then we also have student Augustine Ojoja. I hope I got that correctly. Onoja. Okay, it's not spelled here correctly, but so Augustine Onoja. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the program.
You're welcome.
Yeah, maybe we should begin with you, Mr. Anabe. What is this competition about?
Okay, so the Enactus competition basically is just an aspect of the overall Enactus programming. So first, Enactus is a global network. We have about 35 countries spread, and we're happy to have Nigeria to be part of it. So what we basically do is engage directly with young undergraduate students and help them develop their innate skills and talents to become best versions of themselves. So basically that's what we do. So the competition is just a culmination of all the activities that's happened within the year, that the teams come together to showcase what they have done in terms of problems they identified in their communities, the innovative solutions they created, how they're applying to the problems and the solutions, the outcome they're getting in addressing those problems. Basically, that's what the Enactus competition is all about.
We'll come to the student now, and let's talk to you for a bit and talk about what kind of things are they bringing to the table. I can see that's just out now. I was seeing the winners being declared. We'll come to that in just a moment. What were they bringing to the table in terms of innovation, and which sector were they directing it to?
Oh, okay. So first, Enactus is not a particular sector focused.
Yeah, I understand.
That's number one. So the students are at liberty to create problems that actually address the sustainable development goals.
Create solutions, you mean? Create solutions.
Yes, create solutions. Okay. Yeah, that address everything around the sustainable development goals. Okay. So a typical example with the national champion team yesterday, the Ahmadu Bello University, what they have done is engage farmers in the community in the far north that are farming tomatoes. Okay. They understand that there is a challenges of pests, and what they have done is think around what they can do in terms of creating a solution that will address the farmers' problems of pest attack. So they created a particular pesticide that is helping address that problem for tomato farmers specifically. And thereafter, they have discovered that, okay, we have done this, and this has supported the increase of yields of tomatoes for these farmers. But there is that other challenge where they can't take all of their harvest to the market. So there is a particular percentage of it that goes to waste. So they asked themselves, so now that we have helped them increase their yields and there is another challenge, what do we do? They went ahead to create another solution that helps add value to that particular product, tomato. So they have a system that transforms the raw tomato from the farm into either powder or a paste tomato. So basically that's what their project was all about.
That's quite impressive. Let's come to you, Mr. Anaja. So it's your school, right?
Yes.
And you are the team lead.
I'm the project manager.
You're the project manager.
Yes.
Okay. So I can call you team lead or project manager. Project manager. So congratulations to Ahmadu Bello University. Who was the first runner-up? Was that first runner-up?
That was University of Calabar.
University of Calabar. Malabites and Malabases. So let's talk to you about, because it's quite impressive. So on one hand, you guys produced what could help with issues around pests and all of this. So is it preventative, or when it infects, it kills? So that's one layer of the question. And then the other part I'm quite interested in is post-harvest losses. That is a major problem nationally. It's not just, it's a big issue. Talk to us about the first one, because you're the project manager, and the second one.
Alright, so for our project, what we tried to do was to address the whole tomato value chain. So we realized that if we solve this problem individually, then we might not be able to be able to make a meaningful impact. So we looked at the whole problem from different phases, and the first phase was the pre-harvest loss. So from the angle of the pre-harvest loss, most of these farmers, they lose large amount of tomatoes as a result of pest attack, and the major pest is tuta absoluta. So we were able to develop a solution called neem pest, and how it works is basically that it has different mode of action. So for what we currently have in the market as pesticides, most of those products have single mode of action, which is probably usually through direct contact. But for us, what we developed is a solution that has multiple mode of action, that even when it is ingested by this organism, it can also destroy it. And that's very important because the habitat of this organism, it's found within the leaves. So if your solution does not get to directly come on it, then there is a high possibility that it will not be affected. So that's what leads to a lot of inconsistency in eradicating this pest among farmers. Then for the angle of the post-harvest loss, basically what we did was we looked at the whole problem of tomatoes not being able to last beyond 3 to 7 days in Nigeria. And then what most farmers end up doing is that they slice these tomatoes on bare floor, and when they slice these tomatoes on bare floor, they dry it and then they begin to sell. And products like that are not healthy for consumption because of the presence of microbial organisms and other things that can affect their health, that can affect health issues. So what we did was to develop Tompa Nutritious Foods. So Tompa is a brand that transforms fresh tomatoes into different products, into different tomato products that can last long and then also retain its natural value and taste and color.
I'm just impressed listening to you. Literally.
Thank you, sir.
I like that because in this part of Nigeria, the southwest particularly, we do not joke with our peppers and tomatoes. So this is really incredible. But so it works for only tomatoes, actually?
No, it doesn't work for only tomatoes. So the reason why we're emphasizing on tomatoes is because that is the major occupation of the community that we're trying to solve their problem. So currently, it also works for fall armyworm, which is a major pest for maize plant.
Okay.
Yes, so that's another plant that is very common in the north. So basically for this particular community, they are tomato farmers. They are one of the largest tomato farmers in Katsina State. The name of the community is Kokani community. So that was why we challenged that.
How challenging was this for you and your team having to put this together? I imagine there would have been some sort of barriers and obstacles. Walk us through perhaps some of those moments when you felt like, you know what, are you sure we'll not have a rethink? Maybe let's switch and try something else. If this tomatoes is not going to work, let's try something. Were there such moments?
A lot of them. So personally for me, first of all, I'm a medical student, so trying to juggle what I'm studying and then agriculture project. Yes, and agriculture is something that was very difficult for me, but I was able to pull through. Then secondly was the fact that we stay in Zaria, that's Kaduna State, that's where our school is, and then the project we're implementing was in Katsina State, and the distance was also kind of a barrier, so we had to find our way and navigate through. We're in constant transit from our school to that community to make sure we do the proper needs assessment, understand their problem, develop the solution, went there to implement the project. So it was actually a whole lot. And then for us as a team, basically there are issues of financial constraint, managing people, and then developing the project itself. So there is the aspect of, you have an idea, but then theoretically the idea seems easy or seems very good, but when you start implementing it, it becomes you now see a lot of problems that you might have not foreseen before. So those are some of the things we're able to battle with to be able to come up with a current solution.
Let me come to the order of the matter. There are a couple of questions, but I'll come to you on let's talk about what was the idea in terms of how many schools participated. Was there like a funding model for them? Because it talks about finances. Is it that you give them some level of funding, then see how they can build from that funding? because they're going to go for the world contest. We'll come to that in just a moment. So talk to us about participating schools. How many people entered? How many people made it to maybe the finale and eventually day one, especially the funding model?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, on the Enactus program in Nigeria, we have 35 countries, 35 institutions spread across about 25 states in Nigeria. And for the competition yesterday at Echo Hotel, it started at the beginning of the year. So what we do is we engage the teams, and for the outcome of whatever projects they are going to build, they get the guide from the get-go. So the structure for this year was to ask all our participating teams to send in their action entries, that's their ideas, in terms of projects that they're intending to implement. And we reviewed all of that and gave them feedbacks. Why do we do that? Because there is a project implementation criterion that Enactus has. So students are not at liberty to just implement projects randomly. So that is expected to be done to give them that sense of guide, to tell you that, okay, this is a nod to what you're doing, it makes sense, and it has a lot of potential. So we did all of that with all the 35 schools, and at some point there was a reduction in that number to top 6 outstanding innovations. These top 6 outstanding innovations, which ADU was also part of, received seed grants. So we gave them seed grants in 2 categories. The first was just to encourage them and put them in that place where, as brilliant as this idea is, they are able to make an attempt to actually activate implementation. Thereafter, we monitored them, checked what they did, and requested, okay, let's see what you have done with the little we've given you. And there was that level of improvement of what they sent to us as a report. And there was a second tranche of another seed grants to help them actually take that innovation to a particular level. So the 6 of them that showed up yesterday in Lagos actually had something very external, just the way he's speaking about his project. And also, out of 35 institutions, the journey started from the beginning of the year. We reduced to 6, and today we're sitting here with 1 as a national champion team that will represent Nigeria.
The seed grant is in what region? $7,000, $500.
Okay, so the seeds grant, as it's called seeds grant, was in March. The first tranche was 150,000 naira, Nigerian naira, and the second tranche was 200,000 naira for them to, improve on what they've done. The goal is not to hand them the resources to do the projects, because the Enactus methodology is hands-on. We believe whatever you do, you learn doing, stays with you forever. So in the process, they are challenged to learn the skills of fundraising, they're challenged to learn the skills of community engagement, and also the seeds grant was just to inspire and encourage them, but they know that in the course of implementing their project, they are saddled with the responsibility of thinking around the resources that are required, both financially and otherwise, for them to be able to implement their projects to the level that is desired. And so basically that's how
it's going to be a global contest in Brazil, right? There's going to be a general...
Yes.
Are they going to still pitch this same...
Exactly. So being a global organization, the same project criterion we have here in Nigeria is what all the 35 countries are using. Yeah, so the national champions, just the way we did the competition yesterday, the rest of the other countries are also doing their competition to determine their own national champion team. So they take this project at the global level, and they use the same criteria, it's the same project, and they compete amongst their national competition teams across the world, and the world champion emerges at that level.
This is very impressive, finding solutions to, problems and challenges that concern Nigerians, especially farmers. Is there any plan to perhaps pitch this to the government? I expect the Minister of Agriculture, for instance, to be interfacing with people like you.
That's a very good question. Enactus can't operate without partnerships. We have a lot of corporate partnerships, and we have also made attempts to engage the government with regards to partnerships, public-private partnerships, to support these noble ideas. We currently have conversations with Naseni that are actually championing the advancement of innovations from young people like this. That is work in progress. It hasn't come to pass. But in the area of government, I think the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, which is an agency of the government, it's one that we have actually had partnerships with over the past 2 years, and in different programs programs entirely. So yes, it is work in progress. We actually reach out for those partnerships, but again, when we reach out, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, because
they should approach it. Tell us exactly how they are, so that we'll call them out. Yes, so that they will know that this is very serious. Because we know how government participants can be with this kind of novel introduction. I think that if you're bringing this on board, I think you're solving challenges for millions, especially farmers at that level. Yeah. So I think that the government should be listening to you more. So if there's, please tell us exactly how it is.
Okay, so I think engagements like this are one of the opportunities for the government to listen to us. In fairness to us, the country director, and we are very strategic about the approach, because we know the ministries in the government that are we should directly be partnering or working directly with, knowing what we're doing. We have the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, we have the Ministry of Youth and all of that. But again, just as we're talking about the bureaucracy of the government, and sometimes maybe what it's like their goal at that particular point differs from what we're doing at that particular time. So we are not stopping at knocking at the doors of the government. And again, I look forward to the fact that conversations like these are being, listened to by them, and they're taking opportunity from it to say, okay, let me even look at this organization and Enactus in Nigeria. How can we actually do?
Promise us that you and your team will bring back that global tournament trophy.
Great.
When you go to Brazil. Promise Nigeria.
Definitely, we're winning the World Cup. Yes, we're winning the World Cup. So there's something we believe.
I'm asking you this question. Let me tell you what I'm asking, so that you know how to promise Nigeria. The male football team, for instance, did not qualify for the World Cup.
Right.
The female football Super Falcons yesterday again, for the first time, I think since 1991 or thereabouts, did not qualify. So promise Nigerians that this global tournament, you will go there and raise our flag really, really high.
Sir, if there is one thing I can confidently say, is that Enactus Ahmadu Bello University is always the 1% of the 1%, and we are ready, we're always ready, and we believe that this year is our year to win the World Cup.
Wrapping up, just before we go, I wanted to ask you, the products you produce, what you produce, is it environmentally friendly? Is it human friendly?
Yes.
Has it been tested to show that if mistakenly you ingest it or sneeze or inhale it, that's the right word? It doesn't harm anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I wanted to be clear.
Yeah, so I was going to say that, for us at the office in Nigeria, this year we said is the year we win the World Cup. We have been here for the past 25 years, and we've been consistent at the World Cup participation. We've come second, we've come third, we've come fourth. Unfortunately, we've not won the World Cup, and we were very deliberate about this year to say that, okay, how do we get to win the World Cup? So whatever we've done this year strategically, the seed funding, engaging the teams, we're all part of the process that are culminating to the fact that we look forward to going to the World Cup and coming back gloriously.
Beyond the World Cup, beyond the World Cup, are you also looking at talking to private organizations? Because that's where scaling comes in. Yes. It's just like what it's doing is like what the fintechs do.
Yes.
They do basic solutions at small levels, and then they get funding, and then they become unicorns. I don't know how that is measured in agriculture.
Exactly.
Do you have that model as well beyond competitions as Enactus?
So that's the overall impact of the program. So if they just come on these ideas and nothing happens, and so there is that strategic sustainability plan even on the campus, because definitely he's going to graduate. The question is, you have graduated as an Enactus student, you created a project while you're on campus, what's happening about the project and all of that. So we have created a system that allows us transition innovations that at this level to become successful business enterprises, because that's the only way we can guarantee that the problem that you are addressing with that innovation will forever remain and will be sustained. So yes, there are pipelines where we're allowing the opportunity for ideas like this to meet angel investors, potential investors, and all of that to support with funding, so that it can grow from where it is to become that real business that will continually address that particular problem that is being experienced in that particular location or community.
Just finally, if there's one young person watching this broadcast right now, do you want to say something to that person? I wonder what your words would be.
I will tell them that about the Enactus program, it's basically transformational.
How can they come on board?
Okay, come on board the Enactus program. So basically, it's in two categories. For students that are on campuses that there is an Enactus program already, all they need to do is to look out for the team and, take an advantage on the opportunity for recruitment and become members. Or if you are in an institution that you do not have the Enactus program on, you can actually reach us on our website, enactus.org.ng, and we have our contact link. You can just send a message and we'll respond from our end. We want you to get the program on your campus.
We have to go now. We're rooting for you. Make us proud. Make Nigeria proud when you go for the tournament in Brazil. Rafael Ahmadu is the program manager at Enactus Nigeria, and while Augustine Onoja is the project team manager at Ahmadu Bello University, which is the winner of the Enactus Nigeria Advanced State National Competition. Congratulations again to you.
Congratulations. But just before we let you go, what are the financial incentives for being the World Cup winners now? How much are they winning? Sorry, I like money to talk about.
Okay. Well, for the Enactus competition at the national level,
at the international level.
So at international level, it's a determining factor by the global head office.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're yet to get the details around that, but yes, there's always that level of a cash prize to support them in doing whatever they're doing. So, thank you.